Hey everyone, Irit here with another episode of The Doctors Are In, and this weekend clinic we are playing with stamps and inks. So this is the second process video in my weekend clinic. Make sure you check out the first process video and the product selection video if you haven't done so by now. And of course, check Tracy's amazing videos. So I have these 4 cute photos. They're very, grainy, indoor phone. My daughter took them, blurry type photos, and I like to print those on a smaller size, just because, if I make them bigger, then the bad quality is even more noticeable. And I also like to do multi-photo layouts. So I have here 4 photos, and I know people love those. I know a lot of people don't really connect with the whole 1 photo per layout, so I hope you find this inspiring. Of course, you can use larger size photos and play with that, but I really enjoy using 3x4 photos or square photos, so I would consider doing something similar with like 3 square photos, for example. It just also depends on the photo itself and which orientation fits it. So let's start the inking saga. That's my problem with using stamps and colored inks. I have this whole thing about matching colors. It's a thing, I know, it's a problem. And what happens is that it just takes me a long time and lots of trial and error to get the look I want, the color I want. It's different with every stamp, and it's different with every ink, and I can't make this process faster if I want to create something that is appealing to me. So yeah, like the previous layout, this took longer than my usual one. And I'm using this gorgeous stamp from Prima. You can see it's not super easy to stamp, just because it's like big and relatively intricate, I guess. And yeah, so I'm doing my workout here on my stamping platform, which I love, which is fantastic. For me, it's like the perfect tool. I wouldn't use like a stamp positioner. I think if you're comfortable with the tool, then it's probably not a big deal to you to use it, but for me it's just like way too fussy. I need stuff simple. So the first flower I stamped was just in this light blue ink from Studio Calico, and then I decided to try something different, and I inked the flowers with yellow, and then the leaves in the stamp with, yeah, it's kind of like a minty color. I think it's called emerald, is this? And you can see that I wasn't being accurate at all. I was just playing around, and I don't mind if the if the leaf is completely green and then the flower is completely yellow. I don't care about that. Mostly because I'm lazy, but also because I like the look. Seems like a bit... No, actually, I think both options would look good. I am just... yeah, that's how I wanted to make it. And this floral, the yellow and green one, will actually end up on the layout. So it made the cut. And then with the other experiments, at the beginning I was like, oh, I fussy cut these for nothing. Why? But I end up using them in my art journal, and I love it. And it actually really kind of triggered a whole new style of art journaling for me, having these like extra bits and pieces to put in my art journal. And you will see that if I will post art journaling videos in the near future to show you this new style. And also, of course, if you follow me on Patreon, then you're probably more up to date with what's going on in my studio. So I also tried the pink. I wasn't sure. I tried a few colors, and I kind of wasn't sure what I was going to use. You can see that I stamped like half the image because I know that I'm more likely to use these tucked behind my layers, my photo mats or something like that, than just as a whole floral piece. If you're a card maker or something like that, then you know the whole shape is probably very easy to use. But for my purposes, I knew that I could also use just half the image. So being in this whole mood of using my tools and using my stash and all that, I pulled out this We Are Memory Keeper trimmer, which I got a few months ago, and I made a review video. It's not the easiest tool to use, but I have to say that on this layout I really enjoyed having it. I have, you know, because I'm using, you'll see, like all these colorful papers, so I feel like I need something subtle. I need a subtle texture. I don't want to start outlining them, or actually I think I will ink them. But I didn't want to outline them because I thought they were too colorful and it wouldn't work. Probably it also could, but I don't know. I was just feeling the Chamel pattern paper, let's ink stuff up, and it worked really nice with these irregular edges of the paper. So I used this Wear Memory Keepers trimmer. It has a regular trimmer on it. It has a score blade, and then there are 4 different blades that cut very subtle patterns. So you can see the review on my channel and see exactly what's going on there. But I haven't used it much, and then I pulled it out for this layout, and I'm really glad I did. It was fun to use, and I definitely feel more comfortable with it, and I think I will use it again. It's not perfectly engineered, and it has some operating flaws, I would say, but I do like it, and I do find it gives like this really nice variety to, you know, just cutting papers when you're layering pattern papers and all. So I decided I was gonna go with this pattern paper for my background, and you will see that, well, that's what I thought at this stage, but I will change my mind later. Yeah, and I thought I was going to create this stamped border basically to go just below my pattern paper photo mat. So I'm using this cute stamp. It's from a Studio Calico stamp set, and the stamp set has all kinds of like really lovely hand-drawn, it looks like hand-drawn cameras. And yeah, I'm trying to line it up. It wasn't perfect, but I'm okay with it. There's nothing perfect about this layout. If you want things more clean and straight, you know, you can do that. I'm too impatient, and I just, yeah, I don't do straight and perfect. Not my thing. Yeah, so I'm just flipping this over again. Another, you know, it's just like with the yeah, I need to color my hair, definitely. Hello, Roots. Sorry about that. You know, stamping, it's always challenging to stamp on camera. Doing my workout there. This stamping platform, it's the same as with the We Are Memory Keepers trimmer. The more you use a tool, the more comfortable you get with it, and the more you know, you want to use it, or you reach out for it because you know what it does. And yeah, there I go, ripping the paper. It was kind of crooked, so yeah, it's not a pretty sight. I know. It's the ugly backstage look of scrapbooking. Okay, now the flowers. I have all these colors, all these possibilities, so many possibilities. I definitely like immediately how the yellow one looks. And then I'm trying to, the problem that I'm facing now, I'm just, there's a lot of like troubleshooting in my process because I don't plan things, and then I encounter problems because I didn't properly plan, and then I have to solve those problems, and that's how it goes here. So at the bottom of the photos, I'm liking how that looks. I have that pretty half stamped image that I made in yellow and kind of a teal or turquoise. It's all good. It's looking good. Then at the top, I wanted to add that second part of the stamped image. But I already glued my photos and did the stamping in a way that it was just too high. So it was too, like, I think it was almost going off the page, and that didn't work. So I decided, okay, I will trim this down and then use a different pattern paper as my background. And I liked how it looked with the pink. So I'm going to trim down that original paper that I was going to use. And I don't know, everything was like so wonky. The problem is that this Fiskars trimmer, I like how it works, but it's not the most accurate trimmer. And it also depends how you line up your papers. You're supposed to line it with the lines, I think, and not with the edge of the trimmer. Anyway, eventually I managed to make it look okay. I know you feel my pain. I know you have those things too, or please say that you do and I'm not the only one. Yeah, it's one of these things like measure twice, cut once. No, not in my scrappy world. So now I can place those two parts of the stamped image in a way that is pleasing to me, and I'm thinking about adding some borders, and I can't remember if I end up doing that, so I guess we will just have to see. So one of the problems with this trimmer is that if you want to cut a little piece of paper, well, you basically can't, because there we go. This plastic blue thing, you can lift it, but it's kind of awkward. I don't think it's supposed to be lifted, that plastic thing in the middle. So with small pieces of paper, it doesn't really work. So I think I gave up on that idea, and now I'm moving on. And of course, my ATG ran out because I wanted to say, because that's always happens when I'm filming, but then again, I film almost all of my scrapbooking, so obviously, it will run out when I'm filming. Okay, back to trying to include more stamps. I have this older Technique Tuesday Ellie Edwards set. It has all kinds of sayings about every day and that sort of thing, so I want to try and combine that. Now, this type of thing, I have to say, I think I should just purge some of these sets, because while I love them, and I think I was watching, like, I think there was a 2 Peas in a Bucket series by Nicole, I can't remember her last name. She's like a master stamper, and she made these gorgeous videos and layouts with tons of stamping, and I just loved it. And I think she's responsible for me having all kinds of stamp sets that I don't use that often, because the thing is, I don't really know how to incorporate such phrases in my scrapbooking. It's like, it's too flat for me. It's too flat, it's too big. Then I have these awkward pieces of paper with these sayings. I can't cover them, I can't layer stuff on top of them. So it's just, I don't know, maybe I just need to move them to my art journaling stash and use them there. Because for scrapbooking, it doesn't really go with my style. So, even if I had, I don't know, things like cute dies or punches that made these into like cute shapes, I just, yeah, it's just, for me, it's just a bit too flat, you know? It's like words on paper, and I like to use thickers, and I like to use embellishments, and yeah, so that's why these are not the most used items in my stash. But I really wanted to use them here because, yeah, the goal of this weekend clinic is to use our stamp. So I made an effort, but it really was an effort for me. And I can't say, you know, I really like all the pieces on this layout. I love the stamped images. I love the happy pattern papers from this kit. And that is just somehow looks a little bit sad. It's definitely me because I'm not used to using these type of stamps. I would probably be more comfortable to use them on a mixed media background, so add a lot of like stamping and then second generation and third generation stamping and use them more as texture, but as kind of like a sort of embellishment or something that I can't really cover up with stuff, yeah, it's not really working for me. So anyway, and then I had the problem, okay, so I have, is this piece, it says, give me the wonderful, ordinary, everyday. So I guess this is kind of my title because it really goes with my photos. These photos, I think I mentioned it on the product selection video. You know, they're just, my daughter took them when she came to wake Lily up. It was just a regular weekday morning, waking up, going to, like, just, you know, going to school and all that. And yeah, so it's all about the ordinary everyday. And then I decided, I looked through my word thickers to make life easier for me because I didn't want to come up with any other title. And I found this Yes Indeed from, I don't know, it's either an older Amy Tangerine set or Dear Lizzie. One of these two. Probably came in a hip kit. But I love using foam thickers, like word foam thickers. Those are my favorite. And yeah, it kind of worked. So committing, finally attaching things. And now because I have the Yes Indeed words, I want to add more of that black foam somewhere else on my layout. I thought about the stars, but it was just like a little bit too big. So I'm going to go with the hearts, and just, you know, repetition is one of those design principles that I find myself relying on, and it's really one of those things when I feel I'm stuck. And okay, let's say I put down the title, I put down the main elements, now I want to add some embellishments. What should I add? So I can start with, what do I already have on my layout that I can add, that I can repeat in other places in my layout? And many times it is the thickers in the title. So many times on many of my layouts, I will use, you know, a lot of thicker packs come with either small embellishments or like little stars, or not, or they come with small embellishments. So if I use that, you know, rarely do I use like an asterisk from a thickers pack without actually using those thickers on the layout. So it usually starts from the title, from the words, and then I add embellishments from the same thicker pack. So I added those hearts, and then I went to the kit and looked what I have to play with, and then I just added a bunch of stuff, you know, just making sure that the colors work, that the wording works, and just having fun. And this kind of became colorful because I had this colorful paper behind my photos. I have already all these pops of colors on my layout. So basically I can embellish in any color that I want from the other stuff in the kit, because I have that colorful paper. And this is where I discovered that these acetate embellishments, which are gorgeous, by the way, have like this protective coating on them. So yay me. I also pulled this Freckled Fawn puffy camera stickers. Now these are amazing. I got these. They were part of some past kit from Freckled Fawn, but I got them just like as extras. They sell a lot of their items, you know, also in separate form. You don't have to get the whole kit. And these are my idea of a perfect little embellishment because A, I love cameras, B, cameras go on every layout because there's always a photo, and C, they're black and white and puffy. That's D. And cute. That's E. So all these reasons make these these puffy cameras a perfect embellishment. I have 2 packs, and yeah, I love them. So adding some of the buttons from the Studio Calico kit and just spreading them around. I really liked how that, I don't know, is this a lime green or bright yellow type of buttons? I loved how that they looked, and then I tried to find also other colors that would work. Yeah, and then I decided to add some embellishments on the hearts, on the foam hearts, the black ones, and I think that looks really, really cute. So I'm very happy about that. And now I'm spreading these puffy, colorful asterisks, which also came in the Studio Calico kit, and they are lovely. Love the colors. I love the colors of this kit. It's totally me. So people watching, I hope you enjoyed this weekend clinic. I am happy to hear more suggestions for future installments. This was really fun to make. I hope you feel inspired. Go grab some stamps and scrap away. I wish you a wonderful, crafty weekend. Bye.